guys, it's Khadija. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day or night wherever you're watching this video, whatever time you're watching this video. As you can see, my hair in this video is straightened. If you've seen some of my previous videos, I have it in braids or cornrows or like in a bun or something. But this time around, I've straightened it. I hope you guys think it's cute. I wasn't vibing with it at first. I talked to the hairstylist, saying like, oh, can you straighten this out? Can you put a line over it and just straight, just do this with it? And they're like, whatever, fine. And this is what happened. It's nice. It's not too much maintenance. Which is refreshing. It's not too much. I didn't relax my hair or anything like that. They just shampooed my hair and they straightened it with a flat iron and a hot comb, and that's it. And they hairsprayed it, oil, everything, but that's about it. I don't know how long I'll have this hair maintained, but we'll see. Anyway, today in this video, I'm going to be talking about my reading wrap up for January, my current read for February, and my book haul. I went to the bookstore and my mom was in town a week ago, and I bought some books, and I'm going to show you guys what they are. Originally I was going to make my favorite childhood books video, but I'll save that for next time. And I also have another future video that I'm really excited to talk about. It's not book related at all. It's a TV show. I'm not gonna give away what it is. And the show came out 10 years ago, and it's its 10-year anniversary. So I really wanted to talk about it. How much I'm not going to say stay tuned for that. It's a surprise. If you are a 2010s kid watching this video, you might know what I'm talking about. Let's just put it out there. So, that being said, I've rambled on quite enough. So I'm just going to talk about the books I read for the month of January and what I'm currently reading and the books that I bought. So without further ado, let's go ahead. So the first book I finished in the month of January was The Blue Sky by Toni Morrison. If you guys watched my books to read for Black History Month video, I mentioned this book in that video. But if you guys haven't, I'll link it down below if you guys are interested. I really love that video. Please check it out, especially for this month. But yeah, Blue Sky by Toni Morrison, finished this in last month. Very dark. Honestly, I tried to blank this book out of my mind, because it was just very graphic and everything like that, especially for this poor girl. You're following this young 11-year-old black girl. It's set in the 40s, and the main thing with this book is she wants to be white. She wants to be a blonde white girl with blue eyes, and that's why it's called The Blue Sky. And she goes through a lot of hardship, her parents, her friends. It's not something that no 11-year-old should ever go through. They should never ever go through something like this, but this happens, unfortunately, especially for that decade. It was so normalized, but nowadays things like that would never fly. At least I hope not. But yeah, the book tackles a lot of segregation, racism, childhood I'll say that, and it gets pretty graphic at times with the schmoosh scenes, especially to this young girl, and yeah, it really breaks my heart, and that's pretty much what I can say with this book. I gave this book a 3 out of 5 stars. It's a very quick read. It's very short. It's around, I want to say, almost 200 pages, but it was a lot. I was I think it's a good book. If you are a Toni Morrison fan, if you've read The Blue Sky, let me know what you think. I don't think it's a bad book. It just wasn't for me. I'm hoping to read Song of Solomon, and that'll like change my mind. That's another one of her books, but we'll see. And yeah, that was the first book I finished in January. The next book I finished in January. It's a popular book on Book Talk. A YouTuber, booktuber that I really love. Her name is Haley Pham. I love her videos. She's just so bubbly and she's so positive. I just love her vibe. And she mentioned this was her favorite book of last year. This is The Ministry of Time. This is her favorite book of last year. The Ministry of Time by Kaliane Bradel. I gave this book a 3.5 star between the range. I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. It was really hard for me to get into this book. Personally, she's mentioned like so many things, like so many genres were happening in this book. You had romance, you had thriller, you had suspense, you had like science fiction, you had literary fiction. Like there were so many genres just jumbled up in this book, and I was just like, wow, you know. But it's not bad. It was really hard to get into. And also there's some spice in this book as well, and like this part of the quarter, but I skipped it. I just like, there's no need for it. I really wish that the book really like delved into like the character, but it didn't need a romance, to say the least. It did not need to be a romance. Like if I were to write this book, I would say like her going into this other dimension, meeting all these creatures, like learning about space, like something like kind of deep. But there's no need for a romance. If they wanted to write a romance, I feel like the romance between her and her partner, or that she was working with, it would have been developed a little bit more. It would have helped him a little bit more organically, and I would have bought into it. But it's just like, it was really hard to get into. Did they have chemistry in the book? Yeah, yeah, but again, there was no need for it, you know, unless like it would have worked in the story, but I don't think it really worked in the story. Does that make sense? I'm not judging Haley's opinion on this book. She's allowed to love this book. For me personally, this was a little bit lackluster. I really wish it just stuck to one genre. This is like a multi-genre type of book, and I was just like, I was kind of turned off by it. But yeah, like, not a bad book. Just it just wasn't for me. Let me know if you guys have read this book and what you thought. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, that was the second book I read in the month of January. And then the third one, I technically DNF'd this book because I couldn't get into it. I've heard people say that it gets better as the books go on, and then some others have said that it goes downhill as the books go on. So I'm not sure. You have to you tell me in the comments. That book is Gateway by Frederick Hall. I have the second book on me because I cannot find the first one. It's somewhere in my room. I cannot find it. So I have the second one on deck. And I was kind of like a little lost when I was reading the first Gateway book. I like just really trying to understand what was going on. I get it was written in the 70s, so it makes sense why the writing style is a little bit odd, but like, it was really hard to get into. I really want to, please, like, put in the comments below what's a good science fiction book. I really want to like science fiction because it's a really cool genre, but I cannot seem to get into it. And a lot of people said that this is a classic, but I'm just bored. I don't know what's going on in the book. Like, I know what's going on, but I feel like I don't know. Like, I'm not into, the first book is mostly focused on like the plot, which is not a bad thing. I think I like a good plot centered book, but I do enjoy a character driven book from time to time. So you guys put in the comments below what sci-fi book, like it could be character driven, it could be plot driven, whatever it is. Please recommend it to me. I'm open to whatever it is. Please, but not a spicy one. No romance. Romance, sure, but I want it to be like a small subplot, like But yeah, I just I DNF'd it. I gave it like a 2.5. I'm gonna give it a 2.5, or even down to a 2. All right, and then what I'm currently reading is a YA. This is a YA fiction novel. It's called Somebody That I Used to Know by Dana L. Davis. If you don't know who Dana L. Davis is, neither do I. Until I read like her who she was in. She's an actress. She's done some live action films, but she's also done some voiceover work for some kids shows. Like she's done Star vs. the Forces of Evil, which I used to watch a little bit as a kid. I thought it was funny. And then Craig of the Krieg, I haven't seen it. And then She-Ra and the Princesses of Power, I also haven't seen that, but I loved Star when I was a little kid. And then she was in Coach Carter, Franklin and Bash, and then Veronica Mars. I have not seen either. I've seen Coach Carter, but I have not seen the other two. Yeah, and she wrote a book. She wrote a young adult fiction book. I'm halfway through the book. I DNF'd it because of school. I was supposed to be like a really good book to read for Black History Month. You're following this girl who hasn't seen her friend, who's a pop star. Like he's a big R&B teen pop singer in the world. Like he's the biggest pop star in the world. The girls love him, right? And those two used to be best friends when they were kids. But they since he got famous and everything like that, they stopped talking until now, when her family has to move her old friend into the house because of a scandal that he was involved in, a financial scandal. And they need to, his mom is forcing him to move into her place, and it's very awkward at first. Like there's some awkwardness going on. They're trying to reconnect what they once had, and also she's also dating this guy at the time, so it's a little bit complicated. And I won't lie to you, I was a little bit bored throughout the book. The issue that I have with this book currently is that there's too many pop culture references. I don't mind pop culture references. Like my favorite TV show is Gilmore Girls, and they reference that pop culture crap all the time. But I feel like it just kind of intertwines with the conversations, if that makes sense. With this one, I feel like there's too many. I think this book is fit for a more Gen Alpha demographic. I'm Gen Z, and I understand what they're saying when they mention all these pop culture references, but how much is too much, right? That's the question. And I think the writing style is a little bit too juvenile for me. I feel like this is something that a 13-year-old girl or boy would read. I'm 19. I feel like I've grown past my 13-year-old mind from that. I like me a good source of media that's aimed towards a younger audience. I don't mind that, but I think my taste in books have matured over the years. I like to think that's true, but yeah, with this book is a little too juvenile. Not bad, not a bad book. I'm gonna finish it. It's very quick. It's a quick read for me, but it's okay. I'm gonna give it a 3. I was a little bit bored. I feel like the chemistry with these two, it's there, but it's not as it's not as strong as I wanted it to be. This is supposed to be like a second chance romance sort of book. Best friends to lovers sort of trope. If you're into that trope, like second chance romance or best friends to lovers, I love friends to lovers, but I just could not really get into it. I did learn some new recipes. The male character is a vegan, right? So I learned a couple of like alternative recipes like that I might use, you know. There's also a funny part in the book that I really liked. The guy that she's dating, not him, but her boyfriend that she went on a date with. Spoiler alert. He eats this soup, but it has cucumbers in it, and then she finds out that he's allergic to cucumbers, and he has a huge allergic reaction. And then she gives him like, and they had to send him to the hospital. That was unfortunate, but it was funny. So, sorry if you have a cucumber allergy. Sorry. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll finish it soon enough, but yeah, a little too juvenile. Not a bad book. It's just I'm not the right age group to read this book, something like this. Alrighty, those are all the books I read and what I'm currently reading. Now we're gonna get into the books that I bought the week prior, and I'm excited to show you guys. So let me just pull this up. These are all books. The first book I bought is Girl 11 by Amy Suter Clark. I picked this book up because the plot is really interesting. If you're into true crime, I think you guys would like this book. For anybody, put in the comments below if you like true crime. So when I read this description, you're following this girl who runs a true crime podcast, and she gets a submission from one of them about a real life true crime case that's going on currently in her hometown, I believe. And she unintentionally gets involved in the true crime case all of a sudden because she talked about it in her podcast. And I was just like, oh my goodness. This actually sounds really interesting. I haven't heard people from Book Talk or BookTube talk about something like this, but it sounds really interesting. Like I said, if you're into true crime, I would say, like, give it a shot. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness, it sounds really interesting. I can't wait to pick this up soon. The next book I picked up, I might read this in Black History Month. Who knows? We'll see. This is Yinka, Where Is Your Husband? By Lisa Demilola Blackburn. This is like this sounds so chaotic and so funny, like especially for me as an African person. I'm not Nigerian, but I grew up around a lot of Nigerians. I went to a Nigerian church. I grew up with Nigerian movies and music. Like, I'm pretty much Nigerian at this point, even though I'm not. And look, Emily Henry, she's a popular author, blurbed it. She said, modern and fresh. I said French. Modern and fresh. I adore Yinka. So you're following Yinka. I think this is Yinka. She is being pressured to get married by her mother. And so I think this is her mom. You can't really see the sticker. I might take the sticker off. So yeah, this is her mom. And then her three best friends help matchmake her to get a husband. Because obviously this is so cliche, she has a great career, she's making a lot of money, but her mom's like, you need a husband. You'll end up alone and old. She's like, her friends try to match her up with these guys, and I don't know. That's all I know about the book. I only read the description, but it sounds hilarious. It sounds so chaotic. It sounds so charming. But yeah, I'll see where this goes. It might be a good book to read for Black History Month. It might be a very quick read. We'll see. Looking at it, yeah, I think this will be a really fun read for sure. And it'll be a great way to end Black History Month with this one. So that's that. And then the third book, the last book I want to show you guys, is a thriller. This is called Die Next by Jonathan Stone. I picked this one up. Originally, I was contemplating on buying this, and then there's another one that it's a book called Siri, Who Am I? Which also sounds really interesting, but I wanted something a little bit new for a change, right? So this is a thriller. We're following this guy, and he accidentally switched phones with this person, he with this stranger he never met at a coffee shop. Then when he looks, he goes to return it, but then he sees like I guess a bunch of contacts, and then he realized like, oh, this guy might be really dangerous, and he might be like a hitman. And so like he's worried like, oh my god, this guy, if he finds me, I'm gonna be his next victim. And it sounds so sorry, it sounds so good. It sounds so interesting. Hopefully like the book is as good as it seems. Like it sounds like a really short read. Again, it might be really dark. Probably it's a good book to read in the fall, maybe. Who knows? You never know. Yeah. All right, guys, those are all the books I'm reading, read, or going to pick up in the future. Really, really excited. I miss doing book videos. I'm also really excited to talk about my favorite childhood books in the next video. I hopefully, and then my most anticipated video probably of the year, the TV show review or recap, retrospective. I don't know what it's going to be called, but I know I want to talk about it because I've not seen TikTok. I've seen a little bit people make edits on TikTok, but not enough. No one on YouTube has talked about this show, and I'm like, it bugs me so much because the show deserves its flowers. I'll give you a hint. It's a kid's show on Nickelodeon, and it's music related. It's not Victorious. It's something else. If you guys get it right, that's gonna be my video. But I already know what I'm gonna talk about. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys have an amazing day, and yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. Take care.